And welcome back to the internet's #1 podcast on public library recommendations and holy memory bank. This is episode 202 of the Not Funny Guys presents Off the Reels. I'm Casey, and the two men in the studio with me are Dr. John and Erickhausen. And today we're going to talk about one of the greatest movies of all time, Batman 1989. How's it going, guys?
Good.
Man, how are you, Casey? Looks like you had a little work done. I don't want to be rude. I
No,
don't want to be
this
rude.
is
Maybe
he had a
facelift?
face surgically taken off and then reattached.
I'm
It's
doing
a face
good.
off.
I'm doing good, my friends. Yeah.
All right.
I
Is this going to be a whole show thing?
I was cursed by Danhausen. Whoa!
You're scaring away the limited audience we already have.
Everyone who is listening to us in Pakistan right now and in Bangladesh and Vietnam are running for the hills.
Oh my goodness.
How are you guys doing? How you guys doing?
I'm all right. Long week for me, but glad to be here nonetheless.
Yeah, it's a long
Flying
week for me
solo
as well.
taking care of the kids.
Yeah, it's really
By
taking
itself.
its toll on you. Casey.
It is taking
Well,
its toll on me. Why are you
You're
flying
all by
solo?
Yeah,
Why are you flying solo?
John.
My wife went to visit family in Texas and took my daughter, so it's just me and the boys.
Uh-oh. Boys.
I
will
sent you
be
what we did.
boys.
We built the Venator Lego. That was a reward for helping clean up their room
Nice.
stuff.
Which I assume they did, or
Wait a
was
minute.
it a pre-reward?
Every
Well,
time
I
your
did
children
most of it.
clean up their room, they give you Lego? Fuck, I wanna
I
live
was
in your
trying to
house.
incentivize the fact. Well, we did a real deep dive. Like their
I think
room
this is
really
why I never
needed it.
cleaned my room.
Same here.
Like, The
Eric,
problem
did
with
you
my kids is that the toy boxes and they end up having trash and clothing items, and so it was a
Mhm.
complete resorting of get all your socks out of your places you stick them.
That sounds fair. That sounds fair.
Yeah,
Eric, did you see what I did there? I took my face off. Face off. Yeah.
face off. Haha.
It's really doing a great job blending in
I know.
to the background.
Leave me alone. Leave me alone.
Every so often, the
Complete the-
smile would just appear, and the rest would blend in, and that was the
I should
creepiest. I
just,
think.
I was say I should just leave it like right here, where it just like randomly pops in. It's crazy.
Do that for the horror podcast.
Now that I
would be
found
more
this
worth it.
mask again, I forgot. I knew I had it, but I didn't remember where I put it. And I found it the other day. I should put it on at night and walk into my kids' room and be like, "How you doing?"
Jesus, I think showing them the movies is bad enough. Maybe don't give the real life trauma yet.
Look, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. Speaking of showing him things, Dr. John, have you watched anything new this week? Last we talked, you had watched Batman 66.
Yeah. Well, I watched. Interestingly enough, correlation with our movie this week, I watched Conan the Destroyer. The thief sidekick is also Bob in Batman '89.
I was about to ask, how do those two tie up? So that's
they
the
do.
first one, right? It's Destroyer and then Barbarian?
No,
or is it
no, that's the
Barbarian
second
and
one.
Destroyer?
The second one. That one also has was it Susan Douglas who played the female Kryptonian and Batman and Superman 2? She's also in that one too.
Oh, Ursa?
Ursa, yes.
Oh, okay.
She's
Awesome.
in that. And then I watched the 1984 Dune.
I've actually, real quick, I don't think I've watched this Conan. I think I've only watched
Have you
the
watched
first.
only Barbarian?
I've
Or did you
watched
watch
the,
Jason Momoa?
No, I've seen the first because I bought the 2-pack. I watched the
Okay.
first one. I'm pretty sure. I'm actually double checking my spreadsheet. As
Barbarian is the first one. Destroyer is
I've
the
seen
second.
none of them.
I think I've only seen the first one. I'm double checking, make sure I didn't watch the
They're
second
fun.
one and forget about it. Which is
They're
awesome.
fun, honestly. That's what I like about them. They're silly and fun. They're very sword and sorcery. It's very 1980s.
Eric, I want to point out that Dr. John also says Big Trouble in Little China is fun. So
No, I
let's,
didn't. What?
what? You didn't? You
What are
didn't
you
say
talking
that one?
about?
He said he loves the racial elements. I think it was.
I have not. I have
He
not.
says they cover it the best.
I have not watched Conan the Destroyer yet. I need to watch Conan the Destroyer. I've seen Barbarian.
Well, I watched the 1984 Dune. Still kind of bad. And then I watched, interestingly enough, I finally watched Wake Up Dead Man. And
What
I
did
watched
you,
it.
What did you
Okay,
think
okay,
of
let me
Wake
just say
Up
this.
Dead Man?
There's a deeply ironic thing. I watched that on Saturday before Easter. And considering the timeline of the main events in that film, that was absolutely hilarious. I enjoyed it, actually. I suspected Glenn Close from like very early on, but I did not
Spoilers to the people who have not watched
Well,
it. What
I'm
did,
not going to say anything more. I'm just going to say she's involved.
what
You were
did,
suspicious of Glenn Close.
Suspicious.
which is your favorite of the trilogy?
I still think I like Glass Onion a little bit better.
I think
think
I
I
like the
am there
first
too.
one the most. I think
The first one's really good too, actually.
I
I
do
think-
love
Evans is
that
such a dick.
he really wants to do Benoit Blanc meets the Muppets, and I really hope that happens one day.
I mean, did you guys saw like their parody of it with the forks out, right?
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
we watched that.
Yeah.
Did you? I think I'm probably with you, John. That I think Glass Onion might be my favorite, but like it is a close second for the original as well.
They're all good. I'll just say
they're
that.
all
I
really
think
good.
they're all good.
Well, I think the Wake Up Dead Man was my least favorite. It felt too long. It really pushed the time.
I
a little
like
bit.
the impossibility
Stretch.
of how he dies and how that all works out. Like
That
that,
was
there are certain
decent,
elements
yeah.
of that one that I really appreciate. Sort of the like ambition.
I think you are right. It is long, Eric, but I will say the pacing does a
Moves-
good job.
moves
It
pretty well.
doesn't
Yeah, moves
feel
pretty well.
as long as it actually is.
Yeah, I'll
I feel like it, to me, it felt 30 minutes shorter than it really was. And then you watch it and you're like, oh, it's because the end clips. Once it gets to the end, it starts to clip along, but getting to that point can be slightly painful.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And then I watched Frankenstein, the Guillermo del Toro one.
Frankenstein.
Did you like it?
Yeah, what
I loved it. That was a lot of
I
fun.
need
it
to
was
watch
really
it.
good.
It's hopefully on our
It's-
list for the weekend.
It's very, 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 with a few exceptions, very close to the book.
And
I think this might be the closest to the book I've ever seen.
The Victor's Tale, like, I mean, I think the ship sections were done excellently.
Okay.
I think Victor's Tale was great, but to me, the Monster's Tale was the best.
Yeah.
Like
I
the
was
best
so happy,
shot,
like,
the
I'm
best,
like-
the most beautiful moment. That had such a good arc for him, like for the monster, that was the best arc I've ever seen of the monster.
Well, to me,
on
what's
film.
so fascinating is the way that early on in the story we establish that Victor is very close to his mother, but when she dies, he literally slowly turns into his father. Like there's this whole nature nurture thing that's at the heart of the Frankenstein story that is so well executed in this film.
I like I said, it's one I want to watch. I'm hoping for this weekend. We're caught up on all of our shows, so
You'll
I might
like
be able
it.
to start
I mean-
pushing some of the movie stuff that I want to watch.
I will say Mia Goth, I'm not always a big fan of her.
I do not
did really
like-
enjoy her.
I'm not a big
I
fan
enjoyed
of
her
really
in this
Goth.
film.
She did well in this one.
I also really
I would
liked
agree with you though, Casey. I'm
what's
not
his
always
name?
on board.
It's Walder Frey. It's the groundskeeper or the like interior guy from Harry Potter. He plays the old blind man that the monster meets.
Isn't it David Bradley? Is that his name?
I think it might be David Bradley. Yeah, and then of course Charles Dance plays Victor's father. Very cold, very distant, fascinating. Like it's got a really good cast.
Nice.
So
I mean, I like
phenomenal.
Del Toro a lot, and this is one I really wanted to watch. I just haven't gotten around to it because when it came out and everything happening normally in the world and in life,
Yeah.
I just got delayed on it.
True.
No, that's exciting.
No
that you
excuses.
can watch it. I'm not trying to give you excuses. I'm just telling you the truth.
You are
of
literally
what
giving
happened.
excuses.
No,
You are
I'm
literally
telling you
giving
the
excuses.
truth of what happened. Not
Eric,
Eric.
Eric, I had the same excuse basically. I had intended to watch this sooner, and then I didn't.
It was
So-
one of my most anticipated to watch all last year because I like Del Toro and I like Frankenstein,
Mhm.
and so it was one I really wanted to do. It just again,
It's another
just didn't get a
really
chance.
good, and just the way he designs. I mean, I was watching the behind the scenes special that's also on Netflix, and he's talking about how costumes, set, all these things have to come together perfectly to make
Yeah.
such a good film, and he's right.
Did
It's
you?
so interesting how he focuses on these details that when they come together make such a great film.
Did you guys see that Pan's Labyrinth is coming back to the movie theater?
No.
This fall
I did.
for the 25th anniversary.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, I'm totally gonna go
Interesting.
see it. I would love to see that in the movie theater. I want to see Willy Wonka, and because they're bringing Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory back to the movie theater, I want to see that. And Citizen Kane is coming back.
Willy
to
Wonka,
movie theater.
the Gene
Wilder
right?
one, yeah.
Yeah.
So the 5-year-old wants to see Willy Wonka, and I've never seen Citizen Kane, and it's coming to the movie theater. I was like, what better way to see Citizen Kane for the first time than on the big screen?
No, you really should.
That's a good point. I actually have never seen it either, so I might look for that as well.
Because
That might be a
I
good
had
one.
never. The first time I ever watched 2001 was in IMAX. They had released it in IMAX, and I went and saw it in IMAX for the first time I've seen that movie.
I've never seen 2001.
You don't need to. It's fine.
Hey,
Have they
So
have they confirmed
long.
if Timothy Chalamet is doing another Wonka?
They have not confirmed. I hope he does. I actually like that movie.
Oh, he's too busy. He's too busy pursuing his Oscar, which I applaud him for the ambition. Lord knows I have my moments of that, but like he
have
definitely
you got rid of that Jenner girl yet?
No, he's still
don't
with
not
us.
enjoy the craft too. Just have fun.
I don't think
that's my hope is that he has fun more than he.
I don't think
himself for
he's
award.
trying to get himself that Oscar.
Firsthand,
I think it's
say
his
that.
his team that's trying to get him that Oscar. Because
No, I mean he's come out with his speech saying he wants to be the greatest, right? He wants the awards, he wants these things. Like it's not like
Maybe he'll get it for Dune 3.
He's not known for his humility at the moment, which again,
Dune 3 actually does stand a good shot for him. It'll be a body of work as of Dune versus his performance.
Paul gets to be the real lead character. Like he is the lead in the first ones, but you have to understand that because he's the younger character among like Duke Leto and Lady Jessica, now he really is the whole time out there in front.
Okay.
So
Eric, what about you?
Still need to see Dune 2.
What have
he
you
might get
watched,
overshadowed by Anna Taylor-Joy though.
What have you watched, Eric?
So I think the only ones I can remember watching, though I may have watched a fourth. I need to go check my list, but I'm pretty sure it's just the movie today that we'll talk about, as well as the two Black Phones that have come out.
We'll circle back to that in a second.
We'll circle back to it in a second. I don't think there was a fourth one. Was there a fourth? There may have been. Like,
you have two others. You have The Sandlot.
Oh yeah, I did watch The Sandlot. Yeah. So I watched The Sandlot mostly because I was kind of bummed. Well, I was kind of bummed I wasn't gonna get to punish you potentially with my pick soon, even though we had mentioned it on the pod.
You're gonna get to. We just figured out when we would do it.
Yeah, I have to rebrand it as an all-star game thing now, and that's the whole thing. But nonetheless,
let's talk. We can move it forward, possibly. Let's talk.
No, the audience has spoken. And so I ended up watching The Sandlot, which Rachel had never seen, actually. She told me as we started it. I don't know, but it brought back so much nostalgia.
And you were like, you will watch now or sign these papers?
I did not say that. There's no ultimatum there. But we did watch it. She did enjoy it. It's aged okay. There's like that one scene where, he gets essentially applauded, the kid gets applauded for faking drowning and kissing the lifeguard instead. Yeah. All that sort of boys will be boys stuff that, you associate, but then aren't necessarily the best to promote still. But nonetheless, it did bring back a lot of nostalgia because I watched The Sandlot. I must have seen that 20, 30 times as a kid or so when it came out. Yep. And especially when it was one of those VHS movies. Same with Rookie of the Year. Those were two heavy VHS movies. I just remember. Actually, another one randomly. I don't know how my parents let me have this, but it was Terminator 2. I watched it a ton. Still one of, if not my favorite action.
And
movie.
how old were you at this point?
That's way less.
I would have been 12 to 14 probably in these years, maybe as young as 11.
My mom would have never allowed that in 1,000 years at that age.
Well, I lived in the Bible Belt, but they didn't thump it as hard as other people.
And that's why my child is watching Black Phone too.
Well, good God. Both of those movies are horrible choices for kids. As that is literally the subject matter.
Horrible choices for kids is Casey's middle name, if you didn't know that.
What were we watch? We were watching something and he came in that was like on the horror level.
It was porn. Was it porn? It was porn.
No. On the horror level. I'm trying to remember what it was now. It'll come back to me. And he was like, it was when I was watching Scream 7 for the second time, and he came down. It was during the opening scene where they're in the B&B. And he came down to ask something, and we're like, you need to go to your room. And he was refusing to. I'm like, I'm starting this movie back up. And he goes, well, then he sees like the stab poster. He's like, what do you watch? Is this Ghostface? I was like, yes. He's like, I want to watch. We're like, no, go to your room. And Rachel's like, he should go. And I was like, it's fine. There's nothing really gory in this first sequence. So he'll run off on his own. And he did. He ran off before it got to like him killing. What got him, because he's like, oh, there it is. It was when the thing made the jump, the robot.
Like he ran off because he got scared and didn't want to see it
because he saw the animatronic thing started and then he like bolted. He listened to us and ran off. And I was like, I told you. but it wasn't like an actual murder. It was just the moving of the thing and the sound cue.
My goodness.
He
See,
learned
what
his
you have to
lesson.
folks, look, if you want to steal Casey's
Sometimes the
identity,
kid's got to get scared. He's got to have the nightmares to learn.
He
look,
didn't have a nightmare.
if you guys ever need Casey's middle name, it's I let my kids watch horror movies. That's his middle name. And his wife's middle name is I
My
let
preschool
Casey
children.
do things he
Preschool
shouldn't.
children.
First off, I tried to get him out of the room and he didn't do it. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna put this. Because I knew the movie.
You got to sacrifice, Casey. You gotta sacrifice.
I was gonna say I knew the movie. If it was gonna be a scene that was gonna be really gory, I would have paused. I knew we were far enough away from blood and gore at that point in time. I knew that the only thing was the 2 jump scares before that. He didn't make it past the first jump scare, and he ran off, and he was fine, and he listened to us at that point, and he has not had a nightmare.
It's the fact that there was the jump scare in the first place that to me I'm like,
he likes jump
therapy.
scares. He likes jump scares though, so he likes jump
right.
scares. Anyway, Blue Moon. I wanted to ask you about Blue Moon.
Yeah. I forgot about that too. Somewhat of a forgettable movie. Hate to say it.
That's what I've heard.
A great performance by Ethan Hawke. I mean,
Did you watch it on purpose because of Black Phone?
The Black Modes? No, but it may have been a subliminal because I had wanted to see it. We were just trying to find an interesting movie to watch. She didn't watch Black Phone. She didn't care for that.
That's fine.
So I watched those on my own, and she wanted to just watch a fun movie. And this is obviously very theater related, right? So the whole idea of this movie is it's opening night, and it's basically a one night stage play, right?
Yeah.
So this is a play, but it was probably made into a movie, so it could have gotten Oscar notice and better stuff. But like this feels like a fucking play the whole time.
I think it is a play.
One location play, is it? So it may have been.
So.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure. I'll double check what you're talking about.
It would be a great one, and I think a lot of people should think about doing it. But it is basically a one man show around Larry Hart or Lorenzo Hart.
It is not based on a play. It is not.
So it should be converted to one. But again, it's a one man show. So like, I don't know if it's too worth it or not. Depending, like a community theater would have some good roles, but for the most part, it's going to be one main guy.
I just need to ask one question about it. This is the part that's the most important. Actually, I guess there's 2 parts that are important. Part 1, should I watch this if I'm a fan of Andrew Scott and I only care about Andrew Scott?
I mean, he does well, right? I'm not going to say he does. He plays Rogers.
Yeah.
And so Ethan Hawke plays Lorenzo Hart. This is opening night of Oklahoma.
Yep, after Roger has kicked him over.
After after Larry Hart has fallen apart because of his alcoholism. And this is actually basically kind of his last hurrah, because we learn it starts the movie, and it's a historical fact that he's ultimately found in a gutter and then dies 2 days later of pneumonia, only about 5 to 7 months after the events of this night. So this really begins his kind of final downward spiral, even though he had been in downward spirals before. And this movie and this role shows him going into that spiral over and over and things like that. So you'll all in one night, you'll kind of see it. It shows a lot of his guilt and shame, personal shame and guilt on himself that he had for being both short. He was a very short man. This movie highlights that, and as well as being gay, which he kind of isn't.
I heard that they show him that he's more fluid in this movie than he is.
It does show him that way, or at least it
implies.
It shows him stating that. It doesn't necessarily show that, and it's a really just heartbreaking movie. But it's also a good job again by Ethan Hawke. You have a little bit of E.B. Webb is in there as an author himself that makes a cameo. But then the main thing is about Rogers Hart, and then also Oscar Hammerstein. He makes an appearance. It's a worthwhile watch if you're a theater buff. If you are not a theater buff, you may not really care at the end of the day. It's not the best directed movie. Only because it does have that just vibe of all in the same place at once. I guess it does a good job of capturing it, but it really is just Ethan Hawke is in every single scene. I don't think there's a single moment he is not on camera.
So I need to ask you now about I'm going to move us on. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Margaret Qualley. I need to know about Margaret Qualley. I just learned who her mother was, and now my mind is blown.
Who's her mother?
Andie MacDowell. And now my mind is blown because now I see it. Now that I
You're about
know that.
Margaret Qualley?
Yeah, her mother is
Yeah.
Literally,
Andie McDowell.
we were just stating her name.
I'm just saying, I was only half paying attention.
I didn't know that her
We know.
mom was. I didn't know her mom was Andie McDowell.
I didn't either. That is
All right.
news to me as
So
well.
okay, the question.
Honey, was it Honey Don't or Don't
Honey
What is
don't.
that
Yeah,
one?
yeah,
Hey,
Honey
that
don't.
one's on Netflix. I need to
Oh
watch
yeah,
that.
I do
Yeah.
want
I
to
need to
see
watch
that
that
actually.
one.
She's also
Got Aubrey
in,
Plaza in it.
she's
It's only like 90 minutes or something like that too, so it's a nice shorty.
she's also in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. She's in Nice Guys, Happy
The
Gilmore
Substance.
2, The Substance, How to Make a Killing, which I want to see. She's in a whole bunch of stuff. Poor
Yeah.
Things. She's in Poor Things. So, Black Phone. I know you watched it, and we will go in more in depth about it. And I don't want to know what you thought of it, but what I would like to know is, do you think Black Phone is something? The first one is something that John would actually like, based on what you know that he likes. Would this be something you would recommend to him? Honest opinion. Honest opinion.
I don't know that he'd like it, but I do think he'd find it interesting.
Okay, I think that's fair. I think that is fair,
I
and
think I think he would
I
be
agree
interested
with you.
in its take on how it on the kind of the way the story unfolds. I think he would be engaged in it because of that. But at the end of the day, I don't know that he would walk away being going, I like that. I think he would probably give it 2.5 stars.
Okay, I feel probably about the same. It is. I didn't know this until watching it again this time. It's the last thing I want to mention on it, John. I promise. Is it is based on a Joe Hill story, and I didn't realize that. I caught
Oh,
that in the
Joe Hill.
Joe Hill, Stephen King's son.
Joe Hill. Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Didn't he
and
write
and a
Nosferatu?
comic.
Am I wrong? Isn't there a book by him called Nosferatu or something like
There
that?
might be a book by him, but he didn't do the movie. But
No,
he
no,
did
no.
Lock and Key. That's one of his big things that he did. He's done a ton of comic
Oh,
book stuff.
okay. Okay.
So if you like his comic book writing, you'll like the writing of this.
I'm actually getting
Uh,
around to finally reading the one that you got me.
oh, that's
I'm
such a
finally
good one.
I've been on a roll lately,
Mhm.
so I mean, like I'm already completely caught up with everything involving the Transformer stuff recently.
Nice.
I've plowed through almost all the Batman White Knight. I've only got Batman White Knight Beyond
Mhm.
to do left. Interestingly enough, while looking at Batman White Knight and Curse of the White Knight, lines from our movie this week show
Okay.
up.
Yeah. Yeah, they do.
Mm.
So,
I started trying to do a little bit of comic book catching up, and I was reading some Power Rangers yesterday. The
There you
Power
go.
Rangers comic book is actually really good. It's very adult, which was surprising to me. I wasn't expecting it to be as adult as it was. I watched a
Sex.
couple of things. No, not sexy. It's just like it's more mature themes and like the emotions and family and how it's messing with them and all of that. And some of the consequences of being anyway. It's a good book. I recommend it. I watched some movies. I watched Project Hail Mary last Friday
how
night.
was
I
that?
went and saw it. I really enjoyed it. I saw it really late at night, but it was really good. I went to like an 11 o'clock showing, and it's a 2.5 hour movie. But I didn't feel it. Like it really clips along really well. I like it. I don't know if I like it more than I like The Martian, but it's really good.
Well, see, I when I found out The Martian was coming out, it actually prompted me to go read the book
Ah, uh,
before I saw the movie, so I got a good and I really enjoy both. I think the movie and the
yeah.
book complement each other very well. There, of course, the book has so much more going on, but the way that Ridley Scott adapted the movie,
Yeah.
and I've heard good things about the adaptation here as well, so I'm very curious.
I think you'll like it. I think you'll enjoy it a lot,
I
and
do
I
want to
think it's
see
a
it.
lot of
I
fun.
do. I do want to
It's
see it, and then I would like to also read the book.
and then you want to get the Lego for your son. There is an actual Lego set to it. I'm
I
not
know there
joking.
is.
That's
I actually do
actual.
know there is an Lego set.
Uh,
Yes.
I went and saw Super Mario Galaxy the movie
Okay.
with the 5-year-old, and 2 thumbs up, one from both of us.
Okay.
It was good. It was enjoyable. If you like the first one, you're gonna like this one.
Okay. So my kids
I
will probably like it.
Yeah, don't go in. All the people who've been bashing are like, the story's not great. I'm like, yeah, what are you expecting? It's a story based on a video game that didn't have a story. Like, it's Mario. Go in, just have fun. Just expect to have fun, and you're gonna have fun. And then outside of that, I've watched the same things that Eric watched. Well, Batman and then the Black Phones, and we are caught up on The Pit, which has been really good, and we got one episode left, next week's episode, and then we did Daredevil, and I gotta say I'm really enjoying the season of Daredevil. It's really getting into ice, which is really nice. And there we're down there watching it, We're not the newest episode, but the episode before, so episode 3. We're down there watching. We're near the end, and the 5-year-old comes down there as we're getting into like this action sequence. And fortunately, I'd watched it the night before because my wife had fallen asleep, so I'd finished the episode, so I knew there wasn't anything horrifically violent because Daredevil can get violent at times. And so he's in there and he was talking to us, and I just had it playing. I just didn't pause it, and he looks up and he goes, "Is that Daredevil?" And I'm like, "Yes, it is." And so he then got interested and he wanted to watch it. And so he wanted to watch Daredevil do this action sequence. He's like, "Who is he beating up? Did he kill them?" I'm like, "No, he just hurt them. They're fine. They're asleep." And he's like, "Is he attacking cops?" And I was like, "Well, kind of, sort of. Yeah. Why? They're bad." Okay. And then he just watched this whole action sequence. And then there's a character, White Tiger, is there. And he was like, "Who is she? What is it?" She wasn't wearing the costume, but she had like her necklace thing on. And he's like, "Who is she?" And I was like, "It's White Tiger." And he goes, "Like in the Spider-Man cartoon?" And I was like, "Yes, just like in Spidey and His Amazing Friends." I was like, "That's her." He's like, "Oh, wait, is she gonna get the costume?" I'm like, "I have no idea. I have no idea if she's gonna get the costume." But he became very interested, and he really liked the action sequence. He was just wondering why Daredevil impaled someone. And I had to be like, he was a bad guy, and Daredevil got his shoulder so he couldn't shoot someone. Well, why was he going to shoot someone? That's because he was a bad guy, and Daredevil stopped him. Daredevil doesn't kill. And yeah.
Yeah.
But he was really into it. He wanted to watch more, and thank God I did not let him watch the first opening of the next episode, because then we would be in therapy land. Because that beginning was really intense, but really good. We're actually watching it. Rachel didn't see the last season. I'm only showing her this season. One, it's better, but because they're bringing back a bunch of characters and it's tying into Spider-Man. There's a lot of rumors that this will lead directly into the new Spider-Man movie. And so anyway, she doesn't know who. She didn't see Daredevil season 3, and she didn't watch last season, so she has no idea who. Oh fuck, what's his name? Oh shit, Poindexter. She has no idea who Poindexter was. And so as they're building up Poindexter, and you're getting to see Bullseye in all of his glory, I comment as like, I'm really glad they got him in here, and they're doing a good job of making you like him. And she goes, "Yeah, they are. They're making us really like him." I'm just like, this is a weird
Googling.
Yeah, have a thing
for Bullseye. I think
Bullseye?
so. I think it's possible. I think it's quite possible.
Anyway. Was she in?
I mean, he's not unattractive. This version at least.
That's true. He's not.
At least he's not like that Colin Farrell one that was kind of ugly.
Right? I had the whole big scarring thing. Like it was that was back when like we had to be too literal with our cartoon adaptations and comic adaptations.
Ben Affleck,
it's when we had to have like Prince music videos for things.
Ben Affleck is not the problem with that Daredevil movie. And Colin Farrell is not the problem with Bullseye either. There was
also that's probably one of the best Kingpins.
That is one of the, although
he's good.
He was a good Kingpin, but this Kingpin
guy
is also.
Yeah,
I know.
Is the best.
Yeah.
He is phenomenal.
I saw what's his name, and him and Charlie, what's his name, who plays Daredevil. They were like having a conversation. They were doing like some press.
The Halloween thing.
Might have been a versus of.
They were doing a Halloween versus,
and they were talking about his part in Men in Black. When he has he's the cockroach alien.
Yeah.
And he talks about when he drops on the plate, and he talks about how he has a paralyzing fear of cockroaches.
Wow.
And he asked, "Are these going to be like fakes?" And like, "No, they're real." So he cuffed off his suit, and so they were in there, and he just went one take. It wasn't the only take they did, but he just went out there and went. Yeah. Did his arms like that, and then they fell out.
Shook his arms so that they got right to the edge.
And then it was like, and then they said, and then he asked him, he said, did you guys do that in one take? And he's like, no. Like
I saw an interview.
Couldn't be so lucky.
He was doing an interview because he and Matthew Lillard have known each other for a while. And because Matthew Lillard is
Vincent D'Onofrio and
Matthew
Lillard?
Yeah, they worked on a movie a while back. I don't remember what it was. Right. But they've known each other for a while and they're friends. Yeah. But the way he's written and because D'Onofrio is borderline method, the way Matthew Lillard's character is written in Daredevil, Kingpin hates him, like just finds him just egregiously annoying. And Vincent D'Onofrio has talked about how he can't be around Lillard on set because he hates the character so much that he's having trouble. The character's so well written, he's having trouble disassociating Lillard from the character right now. So I thought was fascinating.
Interesting.
Very fascinating. I can't wait to.
As long as we don't talk about Jared Leto.
No, I can't wait to see exactly where Lillard's character is coming from. But he is tied to. I don't think he's a Marvel character, like a normal Marvel character, because I don't recognize his name. But he's definitely tied to something important in the MCU for sure. And I don't know what's going on. They haven't explained. They're keeping everyone in the dark, which I like. I appreciate. But I have no idea where it is. Anyway, that's what I watched. Let's talk about some news, shall we? There's not a lot of news this week. It's just some minor little things. First up, I showed you the trailer to Punisher, One Bad Day or One Last Kill, I think is what it's called.
Yeah,
what did you guys think? This comes out right after Daredevil. So it's basically Daredevil ends, this Punisher short happens.
It felt like they're going kind of meta on this a little bit from the trailer. Like it looked like he was disassociating.
Yeah.
A little bit. And I was like, well, that's interesting. I've always thought the Punisher probably had some mental therapy needs, but hey.
I think that, that's clear.
You know what I would love is at the end, because it does feel that way that he's doing that. I would love, since he is formally part of the MCU now, and we know he's in the Spider-Man movie, I would really love it at the end if he's like, I need a new therapist, and he walks into a session, and there's Anthony Mackie. And he's going, because Frank was a soldier. And let Anthony, because we know Anthony Mackie does counsel soldiers, let Anthony Mackie, because he can be like, look, you're a hero, and I get it, and I get that you're against the law, and Bucky has that same issues. I'm willing to be confidential and just help you as a person. And I would love to see that. That's where I would like that to
That would be fascinating.
But I'm glad to see John Bernthal coming back for a thing. I want to know, are they going to bring his character, Man in Chair, which I forgot the character's official name, but his Man in Chair is the guy who played the Thing. So I'm curious, are they going to bring him back and let him just be his character? And let him Micro. His name is Micro.
It's not like they're going to recognize him,
right? Because his Micro looked different. Obviously, he's not in the costume, but he was also disheveled, so he doesn't look as clean as Ben Grimm did. So they could have Micro be in it still because he was so good. I would love to see Micro come back. Eric, are you going to watch One Last Kill?
Yeah, absolutely.
One episode, May 12th, everyone. May 12th.
So this must mean this takes place before Spider-Man, right?
Yes, this will lead into why Punisher is doing whatever he's doing in Spider-Man.
Okay.
I wonder if this overlaps in just a way that like we may see a cameo of Spider-Man.
I don't think we're going to get a cameo of Spider-Man, but I'm wondering if we might get him going after one of the villains that's in Spider-Man.
I wonder if this takes place around Spider-Man too. Like, does it end after Spider-Man, so to speak? Like,
no, from the way the trailer implies, I think this is his mental break that happened after the end of season 1 of Daredevil. After Daredevil,
does Daredevil takes place before or after Spider-Man? I thought it's before Spider-Man as well.
It is.
Spider-Man's after everything, right? So
Spider-Man is after everything, and so AMC Daredevil, is confusing Punisher, it even more.
Well, Punisher must have an arc to some extent in the current season of Daredevil, which would then lead into the new movie.
I don't think Punisher is in the season of Daredevil. I think he's out of it. But
wasn't he chained by Fisk at the end?
Yes, but then he gets freed at the very end of season 1 of Born Again. Then he disappears, which is this movie where he's had his break or this TV special. So that's why I assume that's happening at the same time as the Fisk stuff is happening. And then he'll come in. We'll have whatever the tie-in is to Spider-Man, and then Punisher will have his that will lead him into it. And then we have Spider-Man that's very confusing because AMC put in their thing that Spider-Man takes place after the events of Doomsday, which would be very confusing considering that comes out this summer and Doomsday comes out in December. So that would be a really weird, messed up thing.
I don't think that's right.
A lot of people think they just mistyped in their thing, but we won't know until I've heard that it takes place in between Doomsday and Secret Wars, which would make sense. But that would also be confusing considering Doomsday comes out after Spider-Man. So I don't know how they're going to do this leap in logic.
Well, also you have the issue of like a lot of people think Doomsday is setting up Battle World, right?
Right, but that would be part of Secret
Wars.
Yeah,
that's Secret Wars.
Yeah,
But we wouldn't start seeing that happen. Like the actual battle world would be Secret Wars, but
that's a
the incursions and
consequence.
creation, right, would be.
Depends on how they go with it. It could be Spider-Man could be on his own battle world,
Mhm.
or they could go more of the original stuff where the heroes are taken off of Earth and put onto battle world, and so all the heroes are missing
Well,
except for
but this
street level
no,
characters.
if this is following the Secret Wars, realities are all going to collapse.
Yeah.
So that's what this
Well,
is.
that's if it's following the more recent Secret Wars, which is what it
Yes.
seems to be. But if it follows any of the original, the heroes just have to be taken off of Earth to go to battle world.
True.
So it depends on which Secret Wars they're doing. They're probably blending the two. But it's still confusing. If Spider-Man is between Doomsday and Secret Wars, and it's coming out before, you're gonna have some really confused audience members.
Yeah.
If I were Kevin Feige and Sony was gonna pull this move, I'd be like, if I was Kevin Feige, I'd be like, cool, we're gonna create a trailer for you that you have to show before. And it's gonna go previously in Avengers Doomsday, and it's gonna be the trailer for Doomsday to explain why there's stuff that's happened.
Yes.
What I would do. Anyway, May 12th. If you're familiar with the video game Metal Gear Solid, it's getting a movie that is officially in the works. If you are familiar with Wednesday season 3, Lena Headey and James Lance have joined the cast. Lena Headey you might recognize, but do you recognize the name James Lance?
No, off the top of my head.
Did you watch a little show called now I can't even think. Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
Do you remember a reporter?
Oh, the gay reporter at
Yep.
the end who
That's
had
Ted
the gay
Lance.
arc. Okay.
He's
Oh, he was
joining the
great. He was
cast.
wonderful. I enjoyed
He's
him.
my favorite character in Ted Lasso.
Oh, okay. I
He's
don't
a
know
good
that I'd
character.
say that.
He was. I
love a
liked
good
his-
Coach Beard. I mean, I love a good.
I loved his arc and how like the way he everything worked with his
All right.
character, and it was really
He was.
Oh, by the way,
he got a little cheesier than some of the other
Eric-
characters, which I didn't like.
Eric,
I'll
that Key and Peele skit I was telling you about, Coach Beard's in that too.
Oh, there you go. Speaking of
Well,
Coach
then I'll have to
Beard,
watch it.
speaking of Coach Beard, Alien Earth season 2 has just cast Peter Dinklage.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm excited for that. The first season was good. I can't wait to see season 2. Super Mario Galaxy movie that I saw has officially passed $400 million worldwide. So good job, Nintendo and Illumination.
Yeah, you did it.
I know, it was all me. It was all me. Speaking of all me, something I need to watch season 1 of is getting a season 2. Did anyone watch Marvel Zombies yet?
No,
I have not.
Me either, but it's getting a season 2.
We should do a crossover where we watch season 1 and 2 maybe and
my
put it on
son was
horror.
Four
vaguely
episodes,
interested, but
so
horror.
my son was
horror,
vaguely interested
have a
because he
horror
thought
crossover.
he was thinking he wanted to know if it was connected to the What If episode.
it is.
I know, I told him that, but he was kind of off about it because he really liked What If. He's not into zombies, so he's kind of like.
Does it start off with the what if premise?
I have no idea.
That
Speaking of What If, I didn't mention this, but I'm going to throw it out there. There's speculation, and I believe it based on seeing the episode, that episode 4 of Daredevil Born Again has a cameo of the Watcher, and I believe it. Like I know what they're talking about, and I think it's actually true. So
okay.
say what you will. Say what you will.
I do need to see it. I do need to see the show. Season 2. It's doing a one a week season or 1 a week release, right? It's not all binge.
1 a week release. We're halfway through the show. The 4th episode just aired, so 4 more episodes.
Rachel didn't watch it with me, so she's not going to be part of it if
I'm waiting for Jessica Jones to show up because we know she's in the season. Because they were very public about that, and so she hasn't appeared yet. And there's a lot of
is Hot Coffee in it too?
That supposedly he's in season 2.
Ooh.
Both of them actually might be in season 2. There's a lot of rumors that both.
I have rumors that David Tennant might be coming back.
I would love that if that's the case.
I want him to be able to come back, not just as a figment of her imagination, but like really come back and fucking run.
Let's get into
crazy.
So we'll get into some weird speculation. So possible spoilers, but nothing is confirmed. So I want you to keep that in mind. First up, Luke Cage and Iron Fist are rumored to be in season 3 and bringing back Iron Fist. So we'll see.
Same actor, I assume.
Same actor. Okay. I'm okay with it if he gets better writing.
I guess.
I like
or really marginalizes him. Like it's just not a character we need to focus on again.
Yeah, he was always good when he was paired with Luke Cage. So if that's the
Yeah,
case,
totally,
I can live with it. All
totally.
right. So rumors and speculations, okay? This is hardcore rumors and speculations. I need to go in that there's no confirmation of this, but this is what the rumor is.
You heard it
I'm
here,
gonna
folks.
say
He says it's all true.
all true. There are rumors that they are going to be bringing back some characters, and they were Skrulls. That Foggy Nelson might have been a Skrull, and that if you remember in Daredevil, the original Daredevil show, Kingpin's assistant who got murdered, might be coming back. He might have been a Skrull when he died, so they might be using the Skrulls as a cheap way to go like,
Are they using?
We had a retcon, but they could use that for Purple Man. They could be like, you thought it was him, but the reason why she was able to get rid of him was because he was a Skrull. He was in the vicinity, but the reason, and so it was a way, like they can do. It is a stretch, but
yeah.
You could try to make cases.
I think the problem is I think the question that needs to be answered first is, does that mean all of those shows were canon to the current Marvel universe?
They've already said they've already said that they were canon. Well,
I thought they said that with Daredevil. I don't know if they said it with all the shows.
The moment they started bringing in the others, they had to start making them canon.
Kind of have.
That's fair. So then under that idea, I don't want season 1 to be tainted of Jessica Jones. It was a really good season of TV.
If it comes out that he did it himself, I don't think it taints it. So their thought is, if we mention it, it's canon.
That he put it onto he created a scroll that could do it type thing.
Well, so let's say, all right. So
like he hired a
so they're saying scroll. if the show references, it's canon. All right. So let's state that. So let's say Purple Man is referenced as having died.
Okay.
You could have the argument that Purple Man, with his powers, if a scroll got near him, he could control the scroll anyway. Right? So if he can control a scroll through the powers, he could tell the scroll to look like him. If he forces him to look like him, he could be like, I know that I could die. This is what I'm going to do. I will be in the vicinity so I can control everyone there. But you'll pretend to be me. Then when she kills you, I will stop controlling everyone and they'll all think that I'm dead. And then you could have an arc that gets out of it. And that he manipulated the situation so that he could come back against Jessica. You can do it where it won't override. But if they don't reference if it's just he was a Skrull, then all of a sudden it's like, well, this is dumb now, and you've tainted that other show.
Yeah, they'd have to dedicate like an hour to the story of how he did it.
Yeah, and it has to be his idea that he's doing it to fuck with Jessica. As long as he's doing it to fuck with Jessica, I think it's fair game to do it, because that was the beauty of his character.
I think I could accept that, right? Yeah. Because that's his whole thing. Is just he just wants to fuck with Jessica.
The other possibility is after Secret Wars, when they condense down the worlds, he's just back, and Jessica they could have some of the heroes remember. She's like, God, I have to deal with you all over again. I mean,
the other option is he's from a different verse, right?
That's what I'm saying.
That's one of the things of multiverse.
Yeah. Once Secret Wars collapses everything down at the end to just one new world, then he's just back, and that's how you also can recast him.
Though I guess. Would you recast him though?
I wouldn't recast him. I would just be like, he's back alive. It's the same actor. He actually looked the same in all the worlds. And
it's like he was the same. Like it was just there was in that world, everything was the same except this one random butterfly in Antarctica who had like different wings.
Well, what I would actually do is I would make him an anchor being at that point. I think it'd be more fun if he knows that he's from a parallel world. And he remembers everything, and let him be a Nexus being, because we know there's Nexus beings out there. Let him be one. And I think that would make
he would actually kind of work as one too, because he is just that sort of smarmy. You're like, fuck, he's still here, sort of vibe to him.
So I think there's possibilities to bring it back. I would love for Purple Man to come back, because I would love to see him interact with the other heroes. But speaking of interacting with the other heroes, season 2 is coming out. Now, there's a live action Elden Ring movie that is happening. If any of you care about Elden Ring, John should, because Elden Ring's story was written by R.R. Martin. Because instead of writing your book, he decided to go out and write a video game. And now he's adapting that video game into a movie. So you're never getting your book. Ever.
I know. I've accepted
He's flipping you off for it.
No, this is metaphorically flipping off Martin.
And I was going to say, it's not my fault. I'm just
Ken?
I'm just kidding. Sorry, I need to read that email in a second. Writers Guild has struck a new 4-year tentative deal with the movie studios.
Ooh,
So
good for them.
just wanted to mention
Good
that. I don't
for
have
them.
any more details on that. And that said, Eric, can you give us a library, please, my friend?
Boy, can I. So this is going to be an interesting one, guys. This is actually really close to another uh, library, like blocks away of a library. So the first library we ever did in Pennsylvania was one in, I think it's technically Rocks Creek, not technically Pittsburgh, but it's basically Pittsburgh, and it's the Rocks something. No, forgive me, the Rocks, the Stowe Rocks, STO dash Rocks. ROX Public Library. And it's in McKees Rocks area. So that's going to be important later. But this is a different library right next to it, and it's actually part of a larger foundation of libraries in Pittsburgh, all donated, you guessed it, by our good friend Carnegie. Well, not all of them. There's about 20 Carnegie libraries of Pittsburgh now. I think he stopped or he passed away, or his time with them specifically ended around 10. So what we're talking about today is the Carnegie Library of Pittsburgh. Specifically, we're looking at the Sheridan branch today, and we'll get towards that in a minute. But let's talk about the establishment of the Carnegie Library of Pittsburgh. And that was forecast in a letter all the way back on November 25th, 1881, from Andrew Carnegie to the mayor of Pittsburgh, in which Mr. Carnegie offered to donate $250,000 at the time. 1881, $250,000. That's a lot of money at that time. If you bumped it up in terms of inflation, I don't know what it would be, but I'll find out. For a free library that was provided, the city, of course, would agree to provide the land and maintain the annual funding for public library operations. So, after additional consideration, Mr. Carnegie actually increased his charter investment to $1 million to build and equip a main library and 5 neighborhood branches, with the city of Pittsburgh agreeing to provide $40,000 on their end for the ongoing support. So what an investment, and what a return. So the growth and use of the library during its first decade, of course, proved that the Pittsburghers would eagerly respond to the offer of books and library services. 6 branches, CLP, Lawrenceville, West End, Hill District, and Mount Washington, and Hazelwood, all opened between 1898 and 1900. And then East Liberty opened in 1905. These initial branches served Pittsburgh's neighborhoods by offering story times, reading clubs, and some extended services as well. A Southside branch was opened on January 30th, 1908, and that is the last of those which were financed from Mr. Carnegie's original gift to the city. So the city took that $1 million and, if I'm counting correctly, built about 7 right there. The library's Homewood location, dedicated March 10th, 1910, was by far the largest of the branches. Mr. Carnegie departed from his usual custom of requiring the city to provide the land for libraries by purchasing it himself. Homewood was the 8th and last of the Carnegie branches, and the last branch to be erected in Pittsburgh until 1964, when the city of Pittsburgh began its building program again. Now, why am I talking about the Carnegie Library of Pittsburgh Sheridan? Well, that's because Sheridan is the closest to the area where Michael John Douglas was born. That it would be technically Kennedy Township. So Michael John Douglas, the youngest of 7 children, was born at Ohio Valley Hospital in Kennedy Township, Pennsylvania, on September 5th, 1951. He was raised between McKee Rocks, Coriopolis, and Robinson Township. His father, George Douglas, worked as a civil engineer and surveyor, and his mother, Leona Elizabeth, was a homemaker and came from McKees Rocks. So Michael John Douglas, for those who don't recognize the name off the top of your head, is another way of saying Michael Keaton. Our star of this week's Batman will be the star of next week, so I'll have to figure out a different gimmick for that library. But Keaton, he was raised in a Catholic family. He said he liked going to the Catholic school and being an altar boy, and the school itself shaped who he was. His mother was of Irish descent, while his father was of Scottish and Scotch-Irish, German, and English ancestry, and was originally from a Protestant family. Now, Kennedy attended a local high school to Kennedy Township. That was Montour High School, and technically that's in Robinson Township, Pennsylvania. So there actually is no public library in Kennedy Township, Pennsylvania, which is why I chose to go with the Carnegie Library. Of course, it had a great history section for me to look at too, which I always love. So all you other libraries out there, take note, add your history. Now, for Michael Keaton and anyone else in the area who may want to go to the Carnegie Library of Pittsburgh, Sheridan Branch, your hours that you can go are Monday through Wednesday is 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Thursday is 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And so is Friday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And so is Saturday. So 6 days a week, sorry, closed on Sundays, Monday through Wednesday, 10 to 8 p.m. And then Thursday to Saturday, 10 to 5 p.m. That's great hours for a Friday, for a Saturday, which means you and the family can go and check out that lovely building and all the lovely buildings of the Carnegie Library system in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, a wonderful city, which I love to visit when I get the chance. I hope to be back actually this summer. And when I do go back, I will be sure to check out the Carnegie Library of Pittsburgh in Sheridan. The Sheridan branch, at least, in Pittsburgh, PA. And of course, those of you keeping me honest, I know you're out there, you're waiting for it. The zip code there is 15204. 15204. That's the Carnegie Library of Pittsburgh, Sheridan branch. Now back to you, Casey.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you so much. And apologies if it felt like I wasn't listening because I was multitasking for a second. I apologize, but I did put into the chat why. So if you want to know what was going
Someone
on,
trying to get you fired?
nope, but you can read in the chat what it was.
Oh.
All right, so we are going to talk about Batman from 1989. The movie came out on 6/23/89. I remember seeing it that opening weekend. I remember my dad taking me on that Friday, and this is the only time this has ever happened. So we're in the movie Friday. Joker has just shot down the Batplane, all right? Batplane has come in and it crashes into the church, and the film melts. The only time I've ever been in a theater where that happened.
Or are you telling me this before? Yeah.
So and then they obviously apologized and they gave everyone tickets to see it the next night. So we went back to see it the next night. And we had to sit through the whole movie again to get to that spot. And everyone was wondering, will the film melt again at that spot? And it did not. We were able to finish the movie. But that is vivid memory in my head of Batman 1989. And I will always associate this movie with my dad, which is a wonderful thing. I watched this movie digitally. It is rated PG-13. Warner Brothers did it. It runs 2 hours and 6 minutes. The budget of this wonderful movie was $35 million, and it grossed $251 million in the US, which was a huge success. And then $411.5 million globally, also huge success. You can say it changed movies at that point.
Well, it proved that superhero movies could be blockbusters.
Yes, it did.
In a lot of ways.
And we're gonna go into a little bit of the behind the scenes of this movie when we get to it, but we're gonna do Golden Abacus right this second before I get into the very long cast of this movie. Golden Abacus Awards. If you don't know this, they have to answer questions, and whoever gets the most right during a sequence, during a segment, this is the Batman series, will win the Golden Abacus Award. What does that mean? It means not a goddamn thing, just respect from the other two of us. All right.
It's just going to send us jelly beans. That's all it's going to do. Like a bag of jelly beans.
No, jelly bellies, not jelly beans.
Okay.
Not spending that extra money. All right. Not spending that extra money. All right. We all know that this movie awakened a lot of young boys, when they saw Vicky Vale.
No, that happened for me with Jennifer Connelly and The Rocketeer. I'm sorry.
Well, that was after this movie, though.
I know, but at the same time,
okay.
I think I've always debated whether or not I liked Vicky Vale at all.
You're muted, Eric.
Eric's muted.
Wait, I called you a late bloomer for
that.
Anyway,
no, that's true. I am. But
now Vicky Vale is not. Is Vicky Vale a character from the comics?
She is.
She is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll be honest with you. Michelle Pfeiffer was more of a thing.
Yeah. Did you know that Michelle Pfeiffer was actually up for the role of Vicky Vale, but she was dating Michael Keaton, and he thought it would be a little bit weird to work with his girlfriend?
So wait, were they broken up?
I mean, fair.
They actually played.
I don't know. I hope that I'll get the next piece of that story when we talk about the next movie. Anywho,
we're gonna have to look into that.
Stay tuned next week. Same bat pod. Same bat time.
Anyway, Vicky Vale was played by Kim Basinger. Can you tell me who was the original Vicky Vale who filmed about 6 weeks of stuff?
Ooh. No, I did not know that one. So it wasn't Michelle Pfeiffer.
Did you take? Well, I already told you it's not Michelle Pfeiffer.
I know.
So take a guess. You got 20 seconds to give me a guess. Who do you think it was?
Ooh.
1989. Anyone?
What's her name from House of Cards? Robin Wright.
Okay, you think
Is
Robin
that
Wright?
it? Robin
That's
Wright?
actually a
Also
good
That
guess.
would be a good guess.
Dr. John?
By the fact that you're telling me it's a good
Jane
guess,
Fonda.
Casey,
I
don't
don't
think it's right.
So who did you say?
Jane Fonda. I don't know.
Jane Fonda? Well, that's a good guess as well. You're both wrong, though.
Yeah, okay.
Have either of you ever heard?
I thought Eric's guess was better than mine. So.
Eric's guess was much better. Have either of you heard of Sean Young?
Oh my gosh, from Dune. Oh my God.
So she
No.
was Vicky Vale, and she's also in Blade Runner. She
Yes.
talks about how on one of the makings of, she talks about
She
how
wanted to be Catwoman.
so she talks about how her life would have been wildly different if she would have been in this movie. And the reason she's not in it, she
Huh?
had a horse riding accident that injured
Oh
her.
dear.
She campaigned hard to be Catwoman, though, too.
Yeah. Because she wanted to come back into the movie.
Yeah, but she wanted to come back. That makes sense. Okay, that makes so much more sense
So
now.
there you go. Sean Young was the original Vicky Vale. Folks, now you know what kind of games we're playing here on how these questions work. Next question. Neither of you gets that one. All right. We all know that fast food brands have tie-ins all the fucking time with movies. Can you tell me what fast food chain had 4 collectible cups for Batman?
Was it Burger King?
Are you going with Burger King?
I'm going with Burger King.
Okay. Eric?
I will say McDonald's because I feel like I remember them having it for Batman Forever.
Well, they did have it for Batman Forever, and I believe they had it for Batman and Robin. And I still have the Batman Forever
Yeah, I think I
glasses
had some of those.
downstairs.
But it was Burger King, wasn't it?
It was not Burger King either.
Oh.
Burger King did also have a lot of particular cups. If I feel like
Oh,
Burger
is it
King
Taco
had the-
Bell?
It's Taco Bell.
Oh, shit!
Oh.
Fuck yeah, Taco Bell!
Jesus. Oh.
So just wanted to
My
I thought that
second
was a
guess
fun
would've been
little bit
Pizza
of
Hut.
Did they have a bat taco or a bat
No.
burrito?
But did you know Taco Bell is bringing the butter chicken taco to America?
No, I didn't.
And it's
know
a
that.
non-shell. Oh, I'm so excited. I can't wait. I will be getting there day one. All right. Last question. Someone's got to get a point. Okay. Someone's got to get a point. Now,
Well, it's not a guarantee, apparently.
here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do for this next one. I need to see hands, gentlemen. I need to see hands. Show me some hands. All right. Eric, I want to see them fucking hands. Thank you.
Yeah,
All right.
They're up. They're up. They're up.
Batman
He wants to make sure we're not.
Batman came out on June 23rd, 1989. Name at least 3 other, and you get a point for each one, movies that came out that same month. And you might go,
June 89?
Casey, you are coming up with some stuff that's impossible. I guarantee you know almost every one of these. You will know all of these but one.
Oh man, I'm gonna show off how bad I am at dating things.
Last Crusade.
Last Crusade.
Oh, I was gonna say Last Crusade too, so I will say Last Crusade. Is Dick Tracy around this time?
He's saying Dick Tracy. All right.
Okay, I guess I am.
I feel like they came after.
I
geez.
know for a fact you guys have seen
Top Gun?
some of these.
Probably have.
Top Gun. All right. You can keep naming, Eric, but Dr. John gets to name 2 more. And once he names 2 more, we're done. But remember, 1 point for everyone you get right. Hands, gentlemen. Hands.
Jeez.
This is tough. Glory? I'll say I don't think Glory.
I feel like Casey has an insight on this one, so I'm gonna say The Abyss.
Abyss. You want more, Dr. John?
Oh, jeez.
I feel slightly bad, so I'm going to give you.
Was there any James Bond films?
I'm going to give you a small clue here.
89? Yeah.
One, not counting Batman, clearly.
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these are franchises that are 5 of them are franchises. 4 of those franchises are still highly viable franchises. And the 5th one, there's rumors that it's coming
Bond
back.
film.
So then, yeah, I want to say The Last Crusade feels right. Then, like you're saying, I think we already said that.
You say
Okay,
James
so-
Bond, but I need a James Bond film.
What's the James Bond film? I can think at the time it had to be. This was the Roger Daltrey period, or
Right? Would this be Her Majesty's or no? That's
what was that really bad one?
earlier.
License to Kill. Let's just do that really bad one.
License to Kill.
And that's
All
the
right.
one that nobody likes. I feel
Okay,
like maybe
that's his third one. I'll give you a second to name one other one, John, because he did name 4. If you would like to try for an extra point, but you don't have to. 3,
Apollo 13.
2.
I don't know.
Okay.
I feel like that was around the
All
time.
right, here we go. Here we go.
I bet a Halloween.
So first off, I want to say you were both really close with Last Crusade. It was the week before June, so technically it's not a June one. I know. I know. When I saw that little bit of trivia, I was like, "Oh man!" But you're spot on with that. So good guess on your time period, but you're still off. So Eric said Dick Tracy, Top Gun Glory, none correct. Dr. John said Abyss, License to Kill, Apollo 13. One of them is correct. So Dr. John is going to get a point.
License to Kill.
So here are the movies that here, what did I color code that for? I don't even know what I did there. Here are the
you're not sharing.
No. I know I'm not sharing.
All right, I was like, we're not looking at
I would know. I
anything.
was trying to see why I'd color coded something on the last one
Okay.
because of points wise. All right, here are the movies that came out on June 16th. Ghostbusters 2. On June 23rd, same day as Batman, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. On June 9th, Star Trek V, The Final Frontier. On June 30th, Karate Kid Part 3. On June 2nd, Dead Poets Society. On June 30th, Do the Right Thing. On June 30th, Great Balls of Fire. On June 2nd, Vampire's Kiss. And on June 13th, License to Kill. So Dr.
so it was the really bad one.
Got 1. But you can see a bunch of major I know. I was like, when I saw that, I was like, this is our question that we are asking.
Nice.
That was really impressive, all the stuff. So this movie was directed.
And if you're wondering where were the other stars in this movie, they were doing those movies.
They were all in those other things.
They were busy.
One of which almost was Batman. Really close.
Ooh, who?
Bill Murray came really close to being Batman.
No
Really?
way.
Bill Murray. It was going to be Bill Murray as Batman, and it was going to be Eddie Murphy as Robin. It was going to be Ivan Reitman directing it. So,
you're talking like original Batman, because I know that like Marlon Wayans is on.
Marlon Wayans
was
going.
I think.
Marlon Wayans was going to be Robin in what would have been Batman.
The Val
3.
Kilmer one. Right, yeah.
Well, but that was
what Val Kilmer took over.
But that was still when it was under Burton, and there's a whole bunch of things. Anyway, Tim Burton directed this movie. Sam Hamm and Warren Scarron wrote it. Music by Danny Elfman. It was one of his first big movies that he had done. He had technically, done a little bit before, but this was one that like really pushed him over the top.
This is him transitioning from being a new wave band guy into being a score guy.
Well, everyone thought that he would only be able to do comedies, music for comedy. So this is the one that pushed him past comedies. But he barely got it. Like Burton had to fight really hard. The cast, Michael Keaton as Batman, that was what blew up the internet today, and it blew up the pre-internet back then. Mr. Mom
the papers.
as Batman.
The papers.
Jack Nicholson as Joker, not the original choice for Joker. But
So
they did
beautiful.
offer him, and he like pushed back, and so they went and actually had hired Robin Williams, and then Jack Nicholson was like, "All right, I'll do it," and then he took over.
I love Robin Williams. I just don't think he would have been right for this part.
Yeah, it would have been very different Joker.
Did you know the Joker has more screen time than Batman?
Yes, it did.
Oh yeah,
Batman's actually only like 12 minutes of the movie. Kim Basinger was Vicky Vale. Robert Wool was Knox. Pat Hingle
we
was
need more.
Gordon.
We should have had more of him.
Gordon?
No, Alexander Knox.
You did get Knox back in the Flash TV show because he makes an appearance. Anyway, Gordon, Billy D. Williams as Harvey Dent, who would have come back for the third one, but does not because of everything that goes on. Michael Goff as Alfred, Jack Palance as Grissom, Jerry Hall as Alicia, Tracy Walter as Bob, Lee Wallace as Mayor, and can you tell me Eckhart? Who else?
That's supposed to be Bullock, wasn't it? I feel like he was supposed to be Bullock.
I'm not.
He's Porkins.
That's what I was going to get to.
Yeah, he's
William Hootkins Porkins himself plays Eckhart.
He's also in Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark.
And they also dubbed over his voice in this movie, so it's not even his voice. He doesn't even get his real voice in this movie.
But yeah, he's in Raiders of the Lost Ark. He's one of the FBI guys.
Yeah. So I don't know. John would have watched the digital. Eric, I don't know if you rented the digital, bought the digital. They're all on sale right now if you wanted to buy them. But
They're
there is
also on HBO Max.
there is, but if you get I would recommend if you're interested in filming, I would recommend the digitals of this because there is a fantastic behind the scenes feature that they did that was on the Blu-rays and then they put them on the digitals. Each movie gets about an hour. They're 3 parts each of documentary, and it goes into the history of it. And when it gets to the Forevers and stuff, hearing Schumacher like he apologizes for Batman and Robin during those. He's like, "Look, I apologize. Like I wanted the money. Like I saw the money and I took the money and I shouldn't have made it into a cartoon like I did." But in this one, it's the first one is all about how Batman came to the screen, and there was a guy who loved Batman, and he went and pitched an idea to a college, I think in New York, in the 70s. He's like, he saw in the paper like this college was saying, hey, if you can make a good case for a course, we will let you teach an accredited course. And he went and he was going to do one on teaching comic books. And the deans were like, no, fuck you, we're not going to do this. Like I read funny books when I was a kid too. There's no literary relevance to these funny books.
John,
and he
you
goes,
want to speak up here?
Well, wait. Sorry. So John has his job because of this guy.
John.
So
John
the guy goes and he tells the story in the documentary. It's worth watching. But he goes, he's up there and he goes, oh, so you read comic books? You were very familiar with comic books. And he's like, yes, I was. And he goes, okay. And you said there's no literary. Okay, cool. Can you do me a quick favor? Can you tell me the story of Moses? Are you familiar with Moses? So he tells the story of Moses, how his parents had to get rid of him and send him away on the river and all this. And he's found by another family and adopted and then becomes this big hero. And he goes, cool. And now you said you're familiar with Superman. Can you please tell me the story of Superman? And so he tells the story of Superman, and it dawns on the dean, like, oh, I just told you the story of Moses. You have your class. You can do it. And he got it because he was able to prove the class that way.
Well done.
And so he became the first one. It became nationwide news that there was this class happening. So when DC discovered it and Marvel discovered it, they were all writing, being like, thank you for doing this. This is going to obviously help us. And when it came time to making this movie, the studio called him and was like, hey, we want your insight. Like, how do we do this? And then it led to that guy getting a job at, I think, New Line. And then he worked with people there to try to get the rights to it. And they actually got the rights to Batman for a bit. And he was working on it. And then the rights ended up going back to Warner Brothers. But then he still was able to attach himself to it. So all because of this one guy was passionate about comic books and wanted to teach a class on it. It's kind of why we got this movie that we get, which is really fascinating, which is also why it is very strict to the comic book rules. And he even goes, they wanted Robin in it. He knew that Ivan Reitman was going to do Robin and all that. And he's like, no, this is our origin movie. Batman does not have Robin up front. He has to work to Robin. And so a lot of the things that you're seeing, the reason there is a lot of comic accuracy to it, even though it's still 80s comic accuracy, it's still comic accurate, was because of this one professor who was working hard to do it.
But you know what's great though? I want to dispute something you just kind of said, which is that this is an origin movie, and I don't know that that's fully true. I mean, by the time we see Batman and it certainly kind of shows his origin at times, a bit of in a flashback, movie, but it's not. He's fully formed by this time, right? He is fully formed. He's new, but like he's got a full Batcave. I could accept it's a year one, end of year one sort of scenario where he's.
But the world is being introduced to him. That's the thing.
Yeah, they're being introduced to him, and
Gotham is accepting him. I don't know.
Gotham's learning about him. He was rumor, and now they're learning. And then by the end, he is working with the police. By the end,
all I'm saying is it's not an origin story in the way that it feels like so many other origin stories have been. Right?
This
doesn't feel like it gets into like the Iron Man or even Batman Begins sort of level stuff.
Yeah, but, here's an interesting different level of origin. Yes.
Side connection. One of the guys playing one of the goons is an actor played by Mac McDonald, who played Captain Hollister over on Red Dwarf.
There you go.
Hey, look what you did there. Let's see.
I know. It ties it into Red Dwarf. Everything ties into Red Dwarf.
Everything is Red Dwarf.
This movie, very clear, loves doing matte paintings, particularly when it comes to doing the Art Deco art style. There's no color in Gotham City. No wonder everyone wants to murder each other.
It's what I call the Gotham aesthetic. It's the idea of having Uh, Everything looks like it's something between an industrial gothic, and you can't quite tell if the buildings are dilapidated or they just look that way.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And part of that comes from they wanted to do a period Batman movie. They were going to do like a 40s period, and then
Well,
this is where they settled on. As
it
partially
has that mixed blend.
where they
It
get
always,
to,
you know what it actually makes me? It makes me think the aesthetic.
It has no era. You know, it's its
Casey,
own
it's
time.
the aesthetic of Dark City.
it
Yeah,
is the
in a lot of
aesthetic of
ways.
Dark City.
It's
And
that blend. It's that noir blend of like a 1940s, but it's not the 1940s
yep.
kind of
And
thing.
the cartoon actually will take it steps
Yes.
further later once the cartoon comes around.
But they've set the tone for all the Batman movies with this one.
Yeah.
Going forward, having a similar vibe to it.
Even the Schumachers will continue the same vibe.
Yeah.
Schumacher just introduces
Of the
neon
city,
color.
of the
Yeah.
city for sure. Yeah.
And so the other thing I want to mention, the reason for all the Prince music is they were like, we need some mini music. They were trying to work on synergy and getting all this corporate synergy
Yes.
out there. They had Prince under contract at Warner Brothers. And so they're like, who can we get for cheap? Prince. And that's why they get Prince.
Damn.
All
No
'cause
wonder
he
he
was under
became the
contract.
artist formerly known as, you know.
Yep. So let's talk about this movie. Where do you want to start? We can start anywhere. I've seen this movie 1,000 times.
Well, can I tell you one of the things that I've come to dislike most about the film
Sure.
is the Vicky Vale romance. It feels like a studio note that they want him to settle down with a girl
Agreed.
kind of thing. I felt
The fact
it
that
was
he
kinda
told her,
unnecessary.
the
That's
fact that
the
he
one that
told her
gets
who he
me,
is,
is that
that
he
really
told.
is what gets me. I'm fine with the
Yeah.
romance side. It's the fact that he's like, let me tell you who I am. I'm like, fuck off.
Well, to
Like
me-
that goes so much against the idea of the like Batman being this masked hero who does like he wouldn't want to put her in danger if he really loved
Well, it
her.
felt like an audience grab, something to make the audience feel
Yeah.
like, you know,
The forced
like I
love
said, it felt
stories
like
of
a
the
studio- it
90s
felt
and
like a
80s.
That's what I was
stuff,
gonna say.
yeah.
It's the forced love stories. I think the bigger egregious thing is that Alfred lets her in, and really is the one who tells it. Like
Thanks,
Alfred
man,
should just
for
been
betraying.
fired immediately.
you know what
Yeah.
it is?
Once she
They wanted
knows,
to
just
immediately
tell
get out
him,
of the
but-
way that Batman's not gay. That's what it is.
That's probably what it.
I mean,
probably honestly.
that's always
quite
been a
honest.
dark accusation of him. And if you take the 1966 one,
Yeah.
why do you think they put Batwoman in there?
Yeah.
Just like they did in the comic books. I also hated the fact that this is back in the day when the only person getting credit was Bob Kane.
Yes, this is the old Bob Kane.
This is the old one where that very
Oh.
clearly says Bob Kane, and I'm like,
So Eric,
Where's
you may
Will
not
Finger?
you may not know this. Bob Kane did not. Well, okay, he created Batman, but with someone else's help, and he was able to
No, yeah.
wipe that under the rug enough where people didn't know for the longest time. There's actually a documentary about.
there is a
This
children's
coming
book
out.
about it too by a
Yeah.
guy who literally wrote one
Damn.
about the Superman creators and Will Finger.
Yeah, a
And there is
Finger.
one. It was on Hulu.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I forgot what the documentary is called. It is a good one. But Bill Finger is the one who basically created Batman. He like, if I remember correctly, Kane came up with the concept of the idea.
He just had an idea of a guy in a bat suit. That was
right,
it.
but Finger created the iconic design and then the designs of all of the supporting characters after.
Mm-hmm.
And Kane being the showman, and Finger also at the time, a lot of artists didn't want the extra credit.
Well,
they didn't know how
Bob
it was
Kane was
gonna
the
be.
artist. Will
Mm.
Finger was the writer.
I thought Finger
I'll
created.
have to
I
check
think
that.
Finger created. I think Joker's iconic look. I think that it actually came from
Maybe he was the artist.
Finger, but the Finger didn't necessarily want the credit. He didn't need the
No, he's the
grandizing.
writer. Yeah, he's the writer.
What did he do with Joker? I feel like he did art too.
No, right. Joker was a different. Joker was Robinson, I think. Hold on. There's a different guy who is
I mean, while we're
Jerry
on the
Robinson.
Joker,
Jerry Robinson.
Thank you.
can we just
Jerry
talk about the fact that Jack Nicholson reinvented the Joker here? I think
Well-
he took a lot of Cesar Romero, but really
did.
pushed it to the
Well,
big
he
screen.
also took a lot of what Alan Moore had done, because by this point in time,
That's
Killing
also
Joke
true.
should have come out.
Hmm.
I'm beginning to what Finger who
Jerry Robinson was the Joker.
formerly he created.
A thrilling pod so far. Right?
Hey, look, this is what people. Hey, but we're fact checking in real time to make sure
Yeah, we're fact checking.
that
Sure.
we actually have it right.
Sure,
And
that's what people tune in for. The fact checking.
you know what
Yeah.
you could buy.
But while he's doing that, I just want to make my pitch for Justice for Bob.
Yes, make it's just justice
Yes,
for Bob.
justice for Bob. Talk
Okay,
your
talk
pitch.
about a
I'm going to
loyal
disagree.
henchman who, at the last moment, after making one mistake because he didn't know Batman had a plane. Granted, Joker, I love the fact that Joker has a helicopter. Classic. That all of a sudden one mistake gets him shot. I'm like,
I
dude,
mean,
he is more loyal than Starscream, and you shot him.
so
Starscream's not loyal at all, but
I'm going to disagree. No,
I
no
know.
justice needed because this guy's just a bad guy who signed up for the wrong team, right? You knew what you were signing up
But
for,
he's been
right?
with him
You
since
don't get
way
in Hell's
back.
Angels to plant trees, right? Like you know what you're signing up for at the end of the day. And so this guy knew that like this was one of the potential aspects of the job was that he could die, and why would you ever trust a madman like Joker?
But he's been trusting him since he was even Jack Napier. This guy's been
Yeah,
with
well, look,
him.
you want to talk about loyal? Are you arguing some justice for Pam Bondi? Because there's no difference
No,
in
no.
my men, right? There's no difference, right? At a certain point, you're protecting a predator, nonetheless, right? And so, no, Bob gets no. Bob was a loyal henchman. We can acknowledge him in maybe a
He's
henchman
his
Hall of
number
Fame.
one.
He's a henchman Hall of Famer.
But
I'll give
again,
you that.
okay, but of course you could see this coming because Grissom told Jack he was his number one and he betrayed him too. So I guess it was like
Yeah, how it
possibly
goes, man.
inevitable. I just want to say that I felt
The,
bad because I thought Bob had been doing a great job.
You know,
the mafia is
Bob.
not
You know
known
they made a new
for its
toy of
ladder
Bob
climbing.
recently.
Was that
They made a new toy of Bob recently. You can actually
really?
buy a
Oh, good
toy
for
of
Really?
Bob.
Bob. Yep,
He does deserve a pop. I wonder if he has a pop.
Well, see,
he
here's my
probably
thing.
does, but there's an
I
actual.
think about the Venture Brothers universe, and I think about Henchmen 21 and 24 being the most loyal to the Monarch, and it's like, yeah, that's what I'm thinking here. I'm thinking like Henchmen 21,
All right.
Gary.
So
Preposterous.
I thought Bob I thought Finger was the artist, so he is a writer, but I want to read this little bit. There's a couple of
Okay.
quick little things I want to read about how Finger got fucked over.
He wants to give us the finger,
Yes.
John.
Yes. While Kane privately admitted, so Bob Kane privately admitted in an 80s audio interview for his autobiographer that Finger was responsible for 50 to 75% of all the creativity in Batman, he publicly denied Finger had anything to do more than being a subcontractor executing Kane's ideas for decades. Finger died in obscurity and in poverty while Batman brand and Kane amassed an international fame and wealth. So that's the first little bit about that.
Kane was
Now,
full of shit. Let's just put it that way.
but now with Joker, where was Batman's villain? Okay. Finger provided an account of the creation of Joker in 1966, though admittedly unsure if Robinson or Kane who initiated the initial concept. Finger said, "I got a call from Bob Kane. He had a new villain idea, and when I arrived, he was holding a playing card. Apparently, Jerry Robinson or Bob, I don't recall who, looked at the card and thought of an idea of a character, the Joker. Bob made a rough sketch at first, didn't look anything much like the Joker. It looked more like a clown. And I remembered that Grasset and Dunlap formerly issued a very cheap editions of the classics Alexander Dumas and Victor Hugo. The volume had The Man Who Laughs. His face was operated on permanently operated on so that he would always have a perpetual grin. And it looked absolutely weird. I cut the picture out of the book and gave it to Bob, who drew the profile and gave it a more sinister aspect. Then he worked on the face, made him look like clown-like, which accounted for the white face, red lips, and green hair, and that was the Joker."
Okay.
Something I think is really great about the movie to bring it back and the Joker ideas, it kind of ties is that and Rachel called this out too when we were watching. Like it's a really great movie in the way that it brings the comic book to life.
Yeah.
But I also really like the little subtle things that it adds. Like Joker wipes off his makeup and
Yeah.
to go back to being the Joker, right? When
Yeah.
he has to put on the human makeup to not be the
Mhm.
Joker. That's such a neat little idea to visualize like that. And of course, we also like debated like, oh, how do they do that in theater terms? And
So-
it's really just white rag, white on the rag.
So
And
my understanding is so that's what I thought too. And there's one of the documentaries, I don't remember which one. One of them talks about it. And my understanding is in that section, he actually had white makeup on and then the skin tone on top of it. So when he wiped it,
Hmm.
it would make it look.
Yeah, but how would you not pull off both layers at that point?
You would.
That's
I
that's
would
what
imagine
messed
that.
up.
you
I would
put enough
imagine the white might
appliance
be more
on it.
latex.
If you do either more latex or you put enough powder on it and then overlay the other, you just need the single white to do it.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah.
There's also an error, and you didn't notice it in the movie theaters, but you notice it now in 4K when he first comes in and reveals himself to Grissom, and he's like Joker, and he takes off the hat and he flings his head. You see purple all on his neck, and it came from his costume.
Because the dye wearing off basically.
It
Wow.
fell onto the thing. So it's in the movie. You can
Yeah,
see
but
it's
a goof, but it doesn't necessarily take away.
No, it doesn't.
It's not like that moment you couldn't be like,
for a guy who just fell into a vat of acid.
Yeah, he just recently went and dyed his shirt purple. Like that's all I would assume.
Yeah. So, but it's
He's
just one of those.
nuts.
It's technically an error, but it's in the thing. I love the scene when he first gets revealed.
Oh my god!
It does suck that they call him Jack Napier because it gave him a name. In the comics, he didn't have a name for a while, and I think he still technically doesn't have a name. But in White
Jack
Knight,
Napier in the White Knight,
right? In White Knight, they went that route, but I think in the official normal storyline, they still haven't given him a name because the idea is it's scary if you don't know who he is.
Well, yeah.
But
I agree.
I love that first scene when he takes off the hat and everything, and he shoots Grissom, and then he's just like joking around. He's like, ha, 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 and he just starts talking to himself. Or like after the joy buzzer, that scene, watching that, because I haven't seen this. I haven't seen this since I watched the last Fast and the Furious with Momoa. That scene is 100% from Fast and the Furious, or Fast and Furious took it from it, because when he kills him and then everyone leaves the room and he just starts talking, he's like, "What do you want me to do?" "Oh, you're a horrible man, Bob," and he like Momoa stole that 100%. But it still plays. It plays.
Yeah, I mean,
there's neuroses and all of it.
You know who I thought was scarier than Jack Nicholson? The guy who played young Jack was creepy. He is creepy.
He is really weird. Really weird.
Like,
yeah,
that guy.
That's another thing that was controversial at the time, Eric, is tying Joker to Batman's
to the murder
death.
Yeah.
Well,
I knew that. I knew that. I also didn't like the fact that they gave him a name. I do like the idea of Joker being a random appearance, basically. That you can't ever. There's no rhyme or reason behind the madness, and that's what makes it so scary. Right? That's the terror of it all. So to Rachel called out. She said that this is her favorite Joker, and she straight up dissed. That's a little bit of much, but she said definitely over Heath Ledger's.
Send all letters to notfunnyguys.off-the-rails.
Okay.
She said this is the best on-screen Joker.
He is very good. I think all the Jokers, minus Jared Leto, have their interesting qualities.
I'll push back on that in a second.
I'll say Jared Leto has his too.
Did she watch Batman 66 and see?
She did not. She did not.
Okay,
so I
will, that first.
I will show her that. At some point,
clips, not the whole.
I would rather find a more Joker centric episode and just watch that.
Yes,
definitely
that'd be a good idea.
I will say the Joker is very much always a product of our times. That Cesar Romero was very the 60s. This is very much the Jack Nicholson. They're all there. That said, Leto was even though I don't like it, it's not my Joker.
Product of his time.
It was a product of his time, and it's a different interpretation. And I used to be very upset about it, but then I think about the cartoon The Batman, and their version of Joker had dreads and wore a straitjacket where it popped through his hands. He almost looked like one of the weasels from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And for the longest time, I didn't like that interpretation of Joker, but then it grew on me, and I realized that this was just a different interpretation, and I need to accept that because it was an Elseworld version of it. Yeah. To me, the Leto one is an Elseworld version of Joker, and it's a product of our times, and I can accept it.
Animated series.
Yeah, it's
Mark Hamill.
It's not my Joker.
He's my favorite Joker voice.
Yes,
he is a really good Joker voice, but I don't hate.
He is the Joker voice in many ways.
I don't like Leto's Joker, and maybe at the end of this we'll rate all the Jokers. We should think about it and say
we should think about it.
But he would be.
But we're not going to be watching the Leto.
Yeah, we wouldn't. But we've seen it, and we can at least rank the Jokers. Throw that in there. And I think he would probably be one of the lower
audience. Right in, let us know.
But I don't. He's still a Joker, and he was a product of his time. This is a really good one. This is one of my favorites.
A slow introduction of Joker in the Absolute Batman series.
Yeah, I know. They're doing a wildly different.
It's very different. It's wildly different, but it has a strange kind of like haunting element to it. Because
we're
even Alfred in the series knows of him, and he's been hunting him,
we'll
and
talk
it's like,
about.
what
I
is
need.
this
We're,
guy?
we're gonna circle back to that in like a week or so after Eric and I watch a couple of more movies on the horror side, because I kind of see where they're pulling things from, and there's something that we're gonna talk about over there, and we can have a
But
cross
like,
conversation about that later.
okay. Well, like, 'cause one thing I do have to say about this Batman in particular is not only did it kind of set the tone and aesthetic for a lot of Batman films that came after it,
Not in
but
the
it kind of
comics.
set the cultural set stone of what Batman was.
Yeah,
It
Mhm.
reset it.
yeah,
It took what had been going on, because if you think about what happened with that Batman 66, you're talking about a corny, campy Batman that then has to be reinvented in the comic books through like Neil Adams
yeah.
and then kind of bringing him back. And then by the time you get to this one, you've had the Dark Knight Returns, you've had the real dark turn in the character going back to this sort of place. And so now you're going to sort of see a reset of the character. But this film itself, like I was saying, lines from it appear in other Batman comics, like Batman White Knight.
Yeah.
Like when Bruce Wayne goes, "You want to get nut? Let's get
Let's get
nuts."
nuts. Yep.
You know,
Oh, that's so dumb.
it's
There,
corny, but it's been reinvented. It's become part of the lore.
it has. It
You
has definitely
know,
become part of the lore. The this
They've recreated
Joker,
that in other comics and stuff now.
literally
They paid
Batman
homage,
says
if you
it in
will.
Batman White Knight.
I love this Joker. This Joker always makes me happy. I dressed as this Joker for Halloween when this movie came out. My mom actually got me a fedora and spray painted it
This
purple.
is
I
the
had like a
best
full
costumed
suit.
Joker by far.
They've been McFarlane has been releasing all of the movie villains and the movie Batmans, and the one that's coming out this month is a Jack Nicholson Joker in the McFarlane style, and it
Ooh.
looks really good. Now they can't do Jack's
Ooh.
face because part of the deal, he took a lower offer for this movie so that he would get the back end, but he also made sure like anything that his Joker had, like
Yeah,
if
yeah,
it
yeah,
uses his face, he gets money on it. So a shirt, a
yeah.
book, anything. And so the toy will be slightly different version of it. I
That's
wonder,
fine.
let me, you guys talk a little bit about talk about Bullock and Gordon for, or not Bullock, Gordon
Eckhart. Yeah, I
and
know.
Eckhart
I
for a
didn't
second
love
while I grab
Gordon, so
something.
Gordon feels to me in this one like a side character far more than he'll become later.
Yeah,
And
I'm not a
he
fan of
just
this
doesn't
Gordon.
have, yeah, he feels like just another of the political
He
elite,
feels generic.
sort of vibe. Yeah,
He feels very
just
generic, and
top
so
the
does.
end.
I mean, and yeah. And when I see Eckhart, I always think that we're playing off Bullock, but Bullock is not that gross. But I always think like I do appreciate the fact that this is obviously a super corrupt world.
Yeah,
You
very
know,
much
because
so.
Grissom's
Yeah.
what, former district attorney, I think is who he's supposed to be anyway. I mean, he's not only a crime boss, but I think he used to be in political power. He either used to be mayor, I don't remember exactly, but either he used to be mayor or he used to be like district attorney or something. He's been pushed out and gone back to his sort of side job, I
Mhm.
guess you
So
might call it. But yeah,
I wanna pull this out. I got this is a reprint. I have an original of it. But this is the Batman if it'll so this is
yeah, put it in front of you. That
the
usually works.
movie adaptation
Okay.
of the
Oh,
movie.
nice.
Again, does use his
I
thing. There's
remember
some
that.
slight differences in it, but they did do a sequel series. There's two sequel series. This is Batman 89. This one
That's a good one.
is where it would be the third movie, basically based off of the original third script, where Harvey Dent is in it, and they actually drew it to look
That's where you
like
go. Yeah,
Lando.
that's where they actually go to the Two-Face angle.
Yep, this is where they because that's what the third movie
Would
would
the
have been.
Riddler have been in that too, or just
No,
Two
it
Face,
was going to
basically?
originally be Two-Face and Scarecrow, so they do the Two-Face
Mm.
piece of this, and they also introduce Marlon Wayne's Robin in it. So in this, they introduce Robin, and they do make him look like Marlon Wayne's. Then there is another one, Batman 89, I think it's called Echoes, and that is one that introduces their version of Harley Quinn and has Catwoman in it. And they're really good books. And there's also two novels that are out there. I don't know the names of the novels, but first novel came out, I think, in 21, and it takes place after this movie, but before Batman Returns. And it was
There's
going to be
Batman 89, there's Batman Echoes.
those are the graphic novels,
Yes, the
the
graphic novel. Yeah,
miniseries.
yeah.
There's an actual novel. There's one that I think it was 2021, and it is takes place right after Joker dies in this. Spoiler alert! And it is what if he didn't actually die, and that it's Batman trying to solve that mystery, but it sets up Max Schreck,
Oh,
so that
nice,
it
nice.
leads into Batman
I like that.
Returns, and then there's another one that came out last year that introduces their version of Harley Quinn. So those are out there if you want more. And I think they try to go a little
like
bit
an 89 version of Harley Quinn.
Yeah, which is also what the comic book Batman Echoes goes
Interesting.
into.
Would it have been the woman who was in the
No.
office by any chance? Okay.
No, I
That'd
forgot who.
be an
it
interesting
is.
tie-in, but that would have been cool.
I like this. Some of my favorite scenes. I love the art scene.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
like
great.
they
Yeah.
Put on the mask. Where does he get those wonderful toys? Like that is
That line.
I just love
so
how
amazing.
happy he seems to be in the role. Like Jack
Yes.
Nicholson seems to be having
He does
a fucking
seem to have
blast.
joy playing this
Yes.
character.
Yeah, like
which I appreciate that.
I love that he
Agreed.
leaned in so hard. Like he could have easily just taken the paycheck. You know,
It's the art
He really
sequence
fucking
where
gave
you
it.
see that too, because he dances
Yeah.
around, and you're like, oh, he's committing and going
Yeah.
past it.
He's like, I want
Yes.
to do this.
But I love that, and I love the melting. Oh, what a world! Oh, my face, my face. Boom. I love all of that. I think
So
the
good.
His death with the little chattering thing.
yes is great.
Like, what a
that's
way to go out.
The
I heard that fucking laugh for like
yes.
Oh
so much of
God,
my
it sticks
childhood.
with you.
You
You know what? You know what? I
The,
guarantee you that haunted Gordon for months.
Oh, absolutely.
He looked like
it
he was
better have.
traumatized.
The I love the sequence where okay, and the two new people have died today, Chrissy and blah blah, they're models, blah blah blah. And then the reporter starts laughing and then falls over dead, has the
Oh,
rictus
yeah.
grin, and then Joker pulls in and is like, let me tell you new Joker brand products. The fun is you already have them at your house. Like it's so good, it works so
Yeah.
well. And then you see the reporters again, and they're all looking like shit because no one's shit that. Can you
Yeah.
imagine being in Gotham at that, like during that week? No one has bathed. And it's just like everyone's afraid. I like when we're canceling the party, and then here comes Joker pulling in. Like every
We're not
little
gonna
bit
cancel this. We're just gonna have a
works
good old time.
so well. What do you want? I want my face on the $1 bill, which then sets up when it will come out later.
Mm-hmm.
So many wonderful. The whole parade thing is great. Bob, give me your gun. Bam. I'm gonna be right back, boys. And here's my question I've always wondered.
Fuck Bob.
The one thing that's
Hey.
always pulled me out of the movie. There's one moment that's always pulled me out. All right.
Yeah.
When he pulls the giant 7-foot gun out of his pants.
No, absolutely not. That's one of the best things about it. The fact that he is so ridiculous is marvelous.
I love that. But my question is, hey, when did he put the gun in there? Because before we see him, he's up on the thing. So how's he moving his leg? Because that would make it hard to bend his knee. That's the thing. That's the one piece.
It obviously
it's a telescoping
expands,
gun.
okay?
It's a telescoping
It's obviously telescoping, yes.
Sure. But that's always loved that scene. It's always made me laugh. And just that shot, it's so good. Come on. Like all of it. Let's get nuts is always a weird thing to me. And then, of course, the end. You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?
I hate that. That is a stupid little thing.
Hey,
Sure.
I'm sorry.
It's going to be the title of this episode. Are you kidding me?
I bet it is.
You ever dance with the devil?
Yeah, it's my concern with my problem with the death, and at the time I didn't have it, and I still enjoy this movie. I think there's so many iconic things, and it works so well. But the fact that they kill him, and then it's like every movie after this, like we got to kill the villains, fucking kill the villains. Why? Because it's a movie, but you should leave them open.
Because it's not a win if you don't kill them. You know,
bring them back later, and that's where you run into the flaw.
Well, you got to put them.
And even in later movies, they still go the same path.
You gotta bring them back later, and we're not gonna bother with Arkham, obviously.
Well, they will at some point, just not yet.
yet.
We have to wait a couple movies before we get to Arkham. But I wish they would have kept him alive. But at the same time, Jack Nicholson also wouldn't have come back, which means we would have had a recast. So there'd have been a lot of weird things about it.
True.
He's not the only live action Joker. There was a couple of other live action Jokers in the Birds of Prey TV series that only lasts one season. I think it's 13 episodes.
When was that?
Birds of Prey was 2003, 2004.
Okay.
2002. It's a 2002. It was a CW show, or sorry, WB. It was WB.
It wasn't even CW.
Back in the days ago.
Yeah. And it was Huntress, Barbara Gordon in a wheelchair, and Black Canary Dinah Lance.
And who played Joker?
So Barbara Gordon, the show starts off with she gets a knock at her door,
Oh my
and
God.
Joker's there and shoots her, and that's what
They
paralyzes her.
really go for it.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
they do.
Joker was like a no-name person who does the voice or who does the body, but Mark Hamill does the voice of Joker. They dubbed it in.
Mm,
And
Nice.
then the main show will follow um Dr. Harleen Quinzel leading like
right.
the
Birds of prey.
underground. And she's played by Mia Sara, plays Dr. Harleen Quinzel. A short haircut Mia Sara, and they shouldn't have done that to her.
No.
But she is there playing Dr. Harleen Quinzel, and they had I think Clayface makes an appearance, a very weird version of Clayface, and then Alfred is
Hmm.
in it as well.
All I want to do now is go watch the animated series. So,
Yep, that's
particularly the first couple seasons when it was really dark.
you should. You should. Anyway, it's a good show. Then there's also the Gotham Knights TV series, which only ran a season in 2023. And in that one, it is Batman is dead, and these new characters have to come in, and Dula Dent was one of them. But Misha Collins from Supernatural plays Harvey Dent, who does get to become Two-Face near the end of that show. So lots of fun little Batman stuff. But this is what we wouldn't have all that if it wasn't for this. This reinvigorated Batman and made people realize that comic books could be cool. They could be cool, Eric. So like being
Of course
cool,
they can be.
let's move into final thoughts and things. So I'm going to start with Dr. John. Final thoughts and review and score of Batman 89.
Yeah, I think I gave it 4 stars. I'm trying to remember.
You did give it.
Yeah,
4
I think
stars.
there's a lot of nostalgia for me, and I really enjoy it. And I think what I enjoy most about it is the fact that the way it kind of reset. Like I've been saying, the way it kind of reset the sort of perception of Batman and what a cultural legacy this film has carried forward into all kinds of things about how Batman would be interpreted and how like the way Tim Burton kind of gave this very much the Tim Burton treatment of the
Yeah,
aesthetic.
very much so.
He talks
That I
about that
really
in
appreciated.
in that documentary. He goes, I was a huge fan of the show, but I didn't want to do that, and people were afraid that I was going to make it like Batman 66 because I had just done Beetlejuice and Pee-wee's Herman. Pee-wee Herman, but then I was like, I'm gonna do it this way. I want it to be serious. So
No,
that it
you
stands
needed
out.
because that's where Batman was going.
Yeah.
He had been moving in that direction, so you kind of solidified that version of him. And I think Batman Returns will do a good job carrying that forward. After that, he gets like kind of like not until we get to Christopher Nolan do we see this kind of bending
Darkness
back
again.
that way.
I say if it wasn't for this movie, I don't know if you have the MCU.
I don't think you have a lot of big superheroes at the end, like the.
Yeah,
I
this
mean,
kind of
honestly, we
resets
talked about the
superheroes.
Shadow. The Shadow was trying to be this.
Yeah.
Very
And
much so.
For better and worse, this brought it out, but this also made where everyone's like, it's got to be dark. Look what Batman did to Batman. Like, it went from the campy show to this dark show, and people love it. So everything's going to be dark.
Yeah.
It did bring that as well. And
Real world and gritty.
Yeah,
that's probably what they were saying. Not
Nolan,
dark, but gritty.
Nolan didn't help either with what he will ultimately do. But this is really good. And around the same time period after he does Batman Returns, wasn't Superman Lives going to be a Burton movie? I think Superman Lives was going to be Burton. I
I thought that was his too.
Because that's the one where
it was him
Nick
and Kevin
Cage,
Smith, wasn't it?
No, Kevin Smith was
That's the other one,
I believe.
That's
But Nick Cage was going to be Superman.
Yes.
I think it's called. Yeah, it's
There was all
Superman
kinds of
Lives.
stuff.
It's Superman Lives, and there is a fantastic documentary if you can find it. The Death of Superman Lives: What Happened. It is a fantastic documentary, and Burton does come in, and Burton still had some of the stuff, some of the footage. So that's the only reason we have any footage of Nick Cage in the costume trying to become Superman, and the test footage of stuff is because of Tim Burton. And so there's a fantastic documentary if you can find it, The Death of Superman Lives: What Happened. I highly recommend the documentary. It is really good, and Kevin Smith is a big part of it because he will talk about his script of stuff as well. But anyway, John Schnepp did that, and then John Schnepp died like a year or two after after that, which was really sad. Anyway,
Hmm.
you're a 4. You like it, Eric.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on Batman 89?
I think I like it a little more. This is, I mean, nostalgia definitely takes hold. This
Yeah.
was another VHS tape of mine, that got played a lot.
Yeah.
It's so much fun to watch that you forgive some of the crappier moments. I think I gave this
I mean,
four and
there's
a
some
half
bad
stars.
CGI. Look, there's some
There's some
bad
bad CGI.
CGI.
Yeah.
And you can
CG.
tell where there's matte screens, but
There's no CGI.
that's all
Yeah.
kind of
This
part
one.
of it.
It's matte. There's no CG.
Yeah, graphics in general, I think.
Yeah,
Graphic,
the most egregious is at the very beginning when Batman is walking, like are the criminals are just taken and Batman's watching from the rooftops, and it's a bad matte composite shot, and you see Batman walk around. It almost looked like he's animated on top of it, almost like they
Mhm.
rotoscoped him as he's walking around, and then he goes down to stop the 2 criminals and be like, "Who are you?" "I'm Batman." Like that whole sequence.
Yeah, I mean, well, like I said, this has some cheesy stuff. I don't love the Vicky Vale storyline in general. I think that was unnecessary. But I gave it 4.5 stars because I think it really, for all the reasons we've talked about, but maybe haven't highlighted enough of how much this paved the way and how much this did for the comic book, art form culture in general, I think for America, at least. So yeah, I think this deserves a lot of credit, even if I think there are better Batmans to come.
You know what it is, Eric? Whatever is wrong with this movie is made up for by what is right with this movie.
Exactly.
That
Exactly.
principle kind of applies here.
And the fact that everyone was giving it their all and not
Yeah.
just phoning it in really helps.
Yeah, Jack Nicholson
Yeah.
phoning it in would have made this movie horrible.
Yeah, it would have
But
been,
the fact that
like,
he committed,
I
Yeah.
think the only person who phones it in this movie is Jack Palance. I think he's just
Yeah.
like, whatever, I got to roll and we'll be.
he doesn't have a
Grissom for
small
minute.
big role, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just gets to ham it up a little bit, and you're fine.
Yeah. I also enjoy this movie. I think all of us would probably. Eric doesn't have his own thread or his own list, and I in Letterboxd for it. But Dr. John put it as number 1. I put it as my number 1. I
Oh, yeah,
assume Eric would
it's
also,
number 1 right now. Yeah.
be number 1. I really like it. These 2 back to back. This was my childhood. These were my Batman because I did watch Batman 66 on reruns, and I was very familiar with that show. And then I watched this. I'm very familiar with this. I've loved it. I've seen it 1,000 times. There's chunks of this movie I could quote. I've read the books. I showed off my copies of them. I dressed as this Joker as a child. Batman. This was 89, so I would have been 8 years old dressing up as Joker for Halloween.
You weren't the only one. This took over.
I wasn't the only one, but I mean, still, like as a child, I wanted to be Joker. Joker's been one of my favorite characters for a long time. I tend to gravitate towards this type of character between Carnage and Green Goblin and all that. They're all essentially the same character. The mad.
He loves his
insanity.
villain.
But I really like this. Vicky Vale is by far the weakest part of this whole storyline, this whole thing, and I can skip past that. But because
I would
also
like
get
more
it
the
from-
reporter. I would like what's his
Knox
name?
would have been great.
Knox would have been
more,
great to have back.
Knox should have actually been in Batman 2. He should have been a through line character that goes with
He
everyone.
really should have because
He was annoying though. He was
watching this
he was
one. I was
pointless.
like, he's selling me.
He was a little pointless to me, and his advances on Vicky Vale were just gross.
He is a gross character, but it would have been nice to see his character like doing some of the through lines through. Like it would have been fun if he was like, this guy looks like a penguin. I'm going to call him the Penguin. I'm writing the Penguin story. Like there's little bits you could have had him because you're going to have the same Gordon throughout, and you're going to have the same Alfred throughout.
I guess.
It would have been nice to have another through line through. But anyway, I give this movie 4 stars. So Eric actually likes this movie the most out of all of us, I think.
Which surprises me. I thought it would be different.
But
it's fun.
I do. It is fun. I enjoy
and it moves pretty well. It moves.
It
pretty
does.
Well.
And the one last thing from the making of, Jack Nicholson's talked about his character. Why did he do the character the way he does? And he goes, I wanted to make the character as scary as possible because kids want to be scared. Kids' favorite characters are always the one who scares them the most. It's the one that they like the most. And he's not necessarily wrong. And I like that approach that he wanted to do something that kids would love. And that was where his approach.
And it worked on you, Casey.
It did. It worked on me, and I think it
did.
would work on my 5-year-old. And have you showed it to your kids? Have any of your kids seen this?
No, they don't really have an interest in DC, to be honest with you. They're very diehard Marvel.
Show them this movie. I bet you this would change their mind. I think this is one because I didn't care for DC Comics until So this,
I
just
don't know.
don't tell your
We'll
wife.
see.
Your wife is not home. Show them this goddamn movie,
No, I'll
and
show
then
them the
blame
next
me,
one where it gets
and
even
then
darker.
Mm.
blame me. Show them this movie, and then say Casey did it, and then just move on
Okay.
with your life.
Fair
Next
enough.
week, folks, we are going to watch another children's movie, Batman Returns, and it is considered a kids
children's
movie.
movie.
It is considered. Burton considered a kids movie. It's a really weird kids movie, but he considered that. I'm looking forward to this one. I actually do like this movie. At least I remember liking it. I haven't seen it in a while, so I'm curious to see how that's gonna go. But we're gonna watch Batman Returns, which can be found on the Max. So please check that out and watch it with us. I know you will. And while you're at it, write us at notfunnyguys.allforreals@gmail.com. That's notfunnyguys.allforreals@gmail.com. Let us know your questions, comments, concerns. Let us know, when were you first introduced to Batman 89, and was this the first time you were introduced to Batman 89? And if it was, I have to say, where have you been? What rock have you been living under? Because I think everyone culturally knows this movie. If your favorite line is "want to get nuts, let's get nuts," then let us know over on the TikTok at nfg.offthereels, where we are getting nuts all the time. Getting nuts, eating nuts on our OnlyFans. Nuts. Insta, you can find us at not_funny_guys_presents. On Twitter as Not Funny Guys Pod. On Blusky as The Not Funny Guys. On YouTube as The Not Funny Guys, where Dr. John is going through all of Red Dwarf. He's getting
Almost
nuts
done.
with it. He's almost done. Then he's going to do his podcast all about Joe Rogan.
No,
Also,
but
while
he
over
is
there,
involved.
check out these episodes. We are doing all of these episodes over on YouTube. We're throwing up the video. So if you want to see us talk about the Batman movies, check that out. And every now and then, Eric and I might throw up a little short. We had a little short on Danhausen, how he is Not Funny Guys approved. Find me over on Twitter as Vash_Maxwell. On Letterboxd as VashMaxwell. Find Eric over on Letterboxd as Ekly, EKLY. Check out his ever-growing movie list. You will not be disappointed. But while you're checking out Eric's ever-growing movie list, and you're liking and you're subscribing and you're following him there, I want you to check out Dr. John's ever-growing movie list, because it is also becoming impressive, and it is giving Eric a run for his money. Who will watch more movies? I don't know, but if you want to check out his list, check it out. It's esoteric_Evans, and you can follow his movie list there. Dr. John, where else can they find you?
You can find me over also on Instagram at esoteric_by_design. You can find me on Substack at esotericbydesign.substack.com. You can find me over on the YouTube channel, like you were saying, where we are wrapping up Series 12, but I plan on doing some shorts where we'll try to rank some of the series episodes, I think, because I don't want to necessarily give up Red Dwarf, but yes, we are moving on the news radio. And if you want to see me talk a little bit more about academics, you can check out me and our Not Funny gal, Dr. Kristen, over on Not Funny Guys Presents Thinking About Thinking. I have a solo episode up right now, but we will have a 2-part series on anti-Semitism. We'll be talking about that next week.
So you're doing a solo episode. So it's
I did a little short solo episode because we had some conflicts with making arrangements. Dr. K got a concussion.
Oh my goodness.
So, yeah.
well.
She's better now, but it kind of caused us to get off track because
Well,
it was hard for her to concentrate on things. And I was like, well, you've got plenty to do. But yeah,
I'm
we're
glad
getting
that
back on track.
I'm glad that she is okay, and I look
Yes.
forward to your masturbatory episodes of Thinking About Thinking, because you're just playing with yourself as you go through.
Yeah.
Look, it would have been funnier if you hadn't mentioned the concussion piece. All right, blame you.
You didn't have to
Okay.
go through with the joke, Casey.
I did. It was there. Thank you both so much for everything. Check out Thinking About Thinking. Check out Not Funny Politics, which you still are. But also check out Eric and I over on Wrestling with the Horror of It All, where this week we are talking about Black Phone. And then
The Black Phone. It's worth noting. The Black Phone.
The Black Phone. And next week we're going to be talking about some shit that I just realized that I don't remember what it is, but we're going to be talking about something fun over there next week. It's because we haven't recorded that episode yet. I can't tease it, which is why I'm stalling so I can pull up the list so I could tease that after The Black Phone. Oh, we are watching. This is a good one. This ties into Project Hail Mary. I just realized. Do you remember Lily from the AT&T ads? Well, she is in Project Hail Mary.
I knew that actually.
Yep, and she is the lead in Werewolves Within, which is what we were watching after The Black Phone.
All right.
So a good old
Nice.
comedy for us over there. Finally something that's happy and not depressing. So
Not
check out
child murder.
check out Wrestling with the Horror of It All. And of course, we are getting close to our WrestleMania special that is coming in hot. So if anyone wants to watch that, check it out. They are actually going, this ties into our podcast too. WrestleMania this year, they're going, because they're hemorrhaging money and no one's buying tickets at this point. They are going to be doing the first hour of WrestleMania will air on ESPN proper. So if you want to watch some WrestleMania without paying the big bucks,
Wow.
ESPN will have the first
To
hour.
be talked about soon.
Yes, to be talked about soon. So, Dr. John, I recommend watching the first hour of the first night because you're going to get to see a guy named Obafemi kick
Oh my
some
God.
ass, and he's going to be so.
Oh, is he an
great.
opening match?
He's an opening match on night one.
Nice.
Him and Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good
That's
one.
gonna be a fun one. But they're doing that, and that does tie into this because it's entertainment news and it's Disney related, and I'm gonna be curious to see how this is gonna play out.
Gotcha.
Look forward to that news story soon. I didn't do the one news story I should have done, but it was the sad and depressing one. But I'll just mention it. Disney is reportedly about to lay off 1,000 people. If they haven't done it yet, it's coming in the next couple of days.
Thanks, Casey.
I know, I'm sorry. I had to bring it down. All right. Speaking of bring it down, I would like to say thank you both so much. And remember to always keep it not funny.